Fun haps today. Last night I logged on to my computer and I had an email from a friend of mine who's an artist, one of my favorite artists. And he said, hey, this is kind of random, but does anyone have a guitar? Would you be willing to trade a guitar for a painting? I have a guitar. I love painting. I bought this guitar for Glenn like 6 or 7 years ago and he's never played it. Well, I shouldn't say that. He played it for a day or two. So I'm off. I've got a 2-hour drive each way to go make my little trade. I'm bringing tripods, camera gear, I've got water, and most importantly, you guys get to come along. Today I'm going to the studio of Jacobsen, one of my favorite artists, and I'm going to bring you along. Now, I met Eric through art. I saw one of his pieces in a gallery and loved it and found out he was a local guy and called and asked if he would teach me how to paint. So he was my first painting instructor, and I'll always have a love for his style, his art. Not to mention, he's probably one of the kindest, most gentle human beings I know on this planet. He's really lovely. So you guys are going to really enjoy meeting him and seeing his work. It's amazing. Buckle up, it's the law. Yes!
Are you by yourself?
Yeah! How's it going? Good to see you.
This is Jimmy.
Little greeter here. Hi, Jimmy. Hi, Jimmy. Oh no, I wore them just to break them in. Come out to the country.
You're one of a kind.
This worked out perfectly. I needed an adventure.
Good.
I didn't know you moved.
We moved a little over a year ago.
Yeah?
Yep.
Do you like it?
I love it here.
Yeah.
I love it here. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful place. Yeah. Yeah, it's great.
I thought you were going to learn. I didn't know you knew how to play. That's fantastic.
No. Oh, I love it. I read about them too for fun.
Yeah.
They're made in Korea. Well, it might even say that. Yeah, it says it. That is so cool. That's a nice guitar. That's a nice playing guitar.
Oh, good. You want to make a trade?
Yeah. I do. I'm playing Johnny Cash, so I'm going to turn him over. So we came here and we bought our house. I'll show you it. It's an old shop. It was a wood shop. It was I think it was a landscape business, and I think it was a plumbing business, among other things. Anyway, it's kind of retrofit to live in it. And then, but I had this building built. This is just a metal pole building. And so this was, there was nothing here, and built a studio. So you saw my studio in Hood River.
And I never got to your Goldendale or Glenwood.
Glenwood.
Yeah.
I was in the garage there.
Yeah.
I took over the garage and built the studio there. But this is much nicer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And I love the space and the light, and
yeah.
I like seeing you paint when I drive in.
Oh.
Work.
People stop and come in and ask what is this place? Because they can see me painting from the road. The reason you might think, well, that was a bad idea, but
North, right?
It's for Northlight.
Yeah.
See, you're smart, So that's the reason. And it's actually a nice view if you look out from here.
This landscape out here, I don't know if it's the dryness of the air, but the colors are different than they are on the other side of the mountain.
And that's the reason. It's the dry climate, so we have different different trees and grasses, and so you're heavy. Where in Hood River, you're heavy in the Doug fir, and then as you go up a little bit, you're probably into Ponderosa, but they have a bluish green. They're green, but they have kind of a bluish cast to them. You come down here, and there's a lot more purple and orange. So you see all the juniper. You don't really see them here, but as you are coming in, and they have a lot of orange in them.
Right.
So it's kind of nice. So this painting was painted over an old painting, but before I painted, I didn't paint directly on the old painting. I covered it with what's called oil ground, which is just a white oil paint that's designed to cover over a painting if you want to paint over it, so that you don't have to look at all the color and everything. Sure. So anyway, I kind of built up this kind of crazy texture that you can see here, and I did it just to be different and just for fun. I'm not convinced that it's effective for this painting or not. Sometimes I look at it and like it, sometimes I don't. But it was just more for fun, just to see what I could do with that kind of a crazy texture.
And I love the concept of happy accidents.
Oh yeah.
Did I get that from you?
Probably. That's a Bob Ross. That's a Bob Ross quote. Yeah. And here's there are no mistakes, just happy accidents.
Yeah.
Just happens to be there. Yeah.
That's so true.
And I think that it's not so much that the accidents have any worth just by the nature of them being accidents. It's kind of, some of them really do have a spark to them, and it's knowing which ones to keep. When you put a stroke down and you don't know, I guess you never really know what it's going to do, and you have something happen that you couldn't have envisioned happening, or you couldn't have deliberately done. I guess that would be a happy accident if it works. Knowing when to leave it is, of course, the other.
Maybe even the harder part.
Might be the harder. Well, it always is the harder part. It's the thinking behind a painting and the analyzing of it is always the harder part, and the editing. But that's probably why we like painting, because it's not easy. If it were, you hear people say, well, if it were so easy, you wouldn't like it. It's probably true. Or you say, or if it were so easy, they'd call it golf, right? That's a joke. I think that, like anything else, so you with your cooking or something, you spend years learning how to do things correctly so that you can intuitively bake something or make something and not have to measure it all. And that's when you've arrived in any endeavor, I think, is when you're working from, maybe not with math or something, but if you're working in the arts, anything that's coming from intuition and without going through this long thought out process, so that the energy that comes from the original idea goes right to the hand or right to instead of going through a whole bunch of mental exercises, which only dissipates your mental energy, and you get diminishing returns.
Or you get somebody too afraid to paint like me.
Yeah, but see, what you're wanting in your work is the right direction to go, and so it may be that just more hours of painting will allow you to get there.
Sure.
And that's usually the case with anything, because if you and I, again, to talk about the cooking thing, if somebody just said, here's any ingredient you want and go make something, you would know what to do, and I would have a more difficult time.
Right.
I'd make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and you'd make some kind of a souffle with a but anyway, but that's the fun of it. I can have a lot of fun making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Yeah.
But
it's beauty. It's the secret of happiness. To enjoy what you're doing, even though it's the dishes.
That's Emily Dickinson.
She's looking very regal.
Yeah. A lot of them end up in the still life.
Mm-hmm.
Here
Well, it's nice because, like, when people come over and say, "Have you read all of these books?" I'm like, "No, but I need something to be inspired by." You know,
Yeah.
like, and it just depends. Like, some days I might not want to read it, some day I will.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. With an art career, I guess you don't want to shift gears too quickly or jump into new territory every other month, but that's not my personality anyway. I'm just sort of going along, adding things and taking away things. Trying to take away more than I'm adding.
Yes. Economy of like
like poetry, right?
Mm-hmm.
You try, if you can say it in 12 words, great, but if you can say it in 8 words, even better.
Right.
So
yeah.
that's kind of the way I look at painting, you know. And leeks.
Surprise, surprise. There it is, my newest Eric Jacobsen. It's really beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I really love that I know you and you're such a gentle, sweet soul. 'Cause I always think of you when I see your paintings. I think it's kind of like the artist is intrinsically inside the painting. Gorgeous.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for your time.
Thank you for coming down.
You're welcome.
And fun. So we got to do it before too long. I got to come up there, or you come down here and paint, or you know.
I would love it.
I know you're traveling.
But I this past year I'm like, okay, I'm going to commit to painting or doing something creative every week, and I'm already off to a pretty lame start. So.
Well,
this is my creative endeavor for the week. I just to spend time with you.
Oh, that's great. Well, pull your easel out and just keep it out in a corner of your house.
Yes,
You know.
yes.
Not that painting has to be your creative endeavor, but you know, if you want it to be, it could be.
Yes, yes, I love it. It's so beautiful, Eric. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.